Part 1, the divine states, the individual you're expecting is approaching you at this very moment, yet they conceal something behind them, and Archangel Michael advises you to uncover this secret before their arrival. My dear child, my beloved, a summons is taking shape in the spiritual realm, and I was dispatched in advance to ready you for what is about to manifest at your threshold. However, you should not perceive solely with your physical sight, as what is approaching seems pleasant. Nevertheless, something remains concealed behind their back, and the divine declares, should you fail to access this communication immediately, you might never grasp the complete reality. The reality you are not meant to witness. The reality that will liberate you. This is precisely why the celestial realm dispatched this at the very moment you appeared. And this is why I, Archangel Michael, am positioned between you and the impending event, as you require the entire account before the individual occupying your thoughts reaches you. This is your sacred juncture, envelope with arrow. Prior to unveiling the content, take a moment to subscribe immediately, for this dispatch carries divine coding and was obstructed thrice before reaching you. Avoid the peril of missing a similar communication ever again. A subscribing will activate God's prophetic promise and alignment in your life, a phrase envelope with arrow. Now, pay attention, for your actions in the upcoming minutes will influence every occurrence before this evening's midnight. You believe you are familiar with this individual, but I witnessed the concealed aspect of their core. I observed what they bear, and I noted how the heavens attempted to caution you 7 prior instances, yet you overlooked the indications. For this reason, I received instructions to address you promptly, not at a future time, not subsequently, but without delay. A stirring exists in the unseen dimension, shrouded by a recognizable visage. They are advancing in your direction, smiling, feigning, practicing their intended words, yet behind them they conceal something. And the more you delay in viewing this communication, the greater influence they will wield upon their arrival. It is imperative that you comprehend what lies beneath that grin. For what they hide behind them is not affection. It is a resolution they have already taken, a secret they presumed you would never uncover. But the divine intercepted it and entrusted it to my care for direct transmission to your spirit. Do not navigate away from this instance, for your essence is being called to awaken immediately, not in trepidation but in strength. Because once you grasp what is concealed, deceit no longer governs you. You are no longer subject to manipulative enchantment. You are no longer dependent on their schedule, for the heavens have just superseded their authority. The divine has just set you free. If you feel this freedom resonating in your spirit, declare it now. Type AM in the comments and seal this release. As a quick like on this video will activate the flow of God's favor directly into your life. Yet, if you bypass this, they will assume they retain influence over you. They will persist in believing you are oblivious. But you are no longer sightless. My dear child, you are aroused, selected, protected by celestial beings, and this communication serves as your defense. Allow me to recount what I observed within the parchment I received, for upon unrolling it, I discerned your designation, and I perceived the approaching individual, and I understood their actions. They uttered a pledge they failed to uphold. They articulated your name amidst individuals who held no regard for you. They recounted your narrative to a person who distorted it. They violated your benevolence, your trust, your affections. And now they are returning not to foster harmony, but to ascertain if they yet possess authority, to determine if you will still consent, to observe if you will grant them entry. But my child, you will not on this occasion, for the celestial realm has disclosed all to you. You are no longer their marionette. You are no longer shackled by bewilderment as lucidity has materialized. And now I am compelled to display what they conceal behind them. But first attend closely. Your profound advancement relies on this. Your liberation hinges on this. Your prospective partner, your finances, your tranquility, your fate, all are being reordered in the heavens according to your choice at this instant. And I must inquire, are you prepared to learn what they never wished for you to discover? Are you ready to perceive what resided in their grasp throughout? Excellent. Then continue perusing, for this marks the commencement of your sacred safeguarding. They presumed they could eternally withhold it from you. They imagined you would remain ignorant. But now their covert information trembles in their hands, for the heavens have just turned a new leaf. The divine has unveiled your subsequent phase, and their falsehoods cannot persist under scrutiny. This accounts for the unfamiliar sensation in your spirit today. This explains why an element within your essence feels a pull, because the celestial realm is revealing what lay hidden, and my child, heed this. They are en route. You might even receive communication from them before this message concludes. They might telephone you. They might send a text. They might appear at your entry. But do not be messled by their schedule, for I was dispatched here in advance of them. And what I am presently disclosing to you will alter everything. They are concealing a discussion behind them, a dialogue that occurred only last night, and it pertained to you, but you were not present. You did not apprehend what was uttered, but I did, for the heavens sent me to observe it, to attend, to document it, to convey it to you now. Thus you are no longer missiled. My child, their exchange was devoid of affection. It was an act of deliberation. They are approaching you not for restoration, but for dominance. They arrive with enticing words, yet harbor something perilous within their core. You must be vigilant. You should not respond to the entrance with undue haste, for beneath that gentle inflection lies a scheme, and behind that pleasant expression is an ulterior reason. But heed my words presently. You are not impotent, you are not solitary, you are not forsaken. You are safeguarded, you are divinely protected. For you have persevered this far, and now you are being granted insight into what others never witness. This is celestial wisdom. This is privileged reality, for the divine desires that you not be exploited again. Not on this occasion, not by them, and not by any individual who feigns affection but wields a concealed instrument behind them, my child. That instrument might not be tangible, yet it is incisive. It is a fabrication. It is a resolution already reached without your input. It is a perfidy already instilled. It is a pact forged in your absence. And now they are probing to discern if you remain oblivious. But behold you. You are here perusing the precise words inscribed for you by the heavens, conveyed by an angel bearing the blade of luminescence. And that blade is poised to pierce through every deception, every facade, every obscurity, so they cannot sway you again. This is why the divine orchestrated this timing. This is why this communication was dispatched at this instant. Not an hour subsequent, not a day prior, but immediately, for the individual you envision while reading this is already advancing, but their scheme is being disclosed, and the item they conceal behind them, it is not what you surmise. It is not a present, it is not an expression of regret. It is a document bearing your name, yet not authenticated by sincerity, but by self-serving motives. It is an obligation undertaken, but not towards you. And this is why the celestial realm lamented for you last night, for you have persevered to this juncture. And now you are being granted insight into what others never witness. This is privileged reality, for the divine desires that you not be exploited again. Not on this occasion, not by them, and not by any individual who feigns affection, but wields a concealed instrument behind them, my child. That instrument might not be tangible, yet it is incisive. It is a fabrication. It is a resolution already reached without your input. It is a perfidy already instilled. It is a pact forged in your absence. And now they are probing to discern if you remain oblivious. But behold you are here perusing the precise words inscribed for you by the heavens, conveyed by an angel bearing the blade of luminescence. And that blade is poised to pierce through every deception, every facade, every obscurity, so they cannot sway you again. This is why the divine orchestrated this timing. This is why this communication was dispatched at this instant. Not an hour subsequent, not a day prior, but immediately, for the individual you envision while reading this is already advancing, but their scheme is being disclosed. And the item they conceal behind them, it is not what you surmise. It is not a present, it is not an expression of regret. It is a document bearing your name, yet not authenticated by sincerity, but by self-serving motives. It is an obligation undertaken, but not towards you. And this is why the celestial realm lamented for you last night. That is why I, Archangel Michael, paused when I witnessed it, because I have observed your patience. I have seen your devotion. I have noted how your heart continues to intercede for them. And now the time has come for the heavens to intervene to safeguard the one who was consistently genuine, you. It was a written communication, folded, deteriorated, and never intended to arrive at your possession. It was penned on the day they departed from you, but not from anguish, rather from calculated design. They engineered this. Their aim was to maintain your disorientation. They wished for you to linger, to speculate, to doubt yourself. For the instant you comprehended the truth, you would attain liberation. And they did not desire your freedom. They desired your accessibility. Even as they directed their focus elsewhere, even while they obscured matters, they sought to keep you spiritually bound so they could return at any juncture. Utter all the appropriate phrases. Smile in that customary manner and you would succumb. But my child, you are no longer unaltered. The heavens declare you are inaccessible to deceit. You are inaccessible to manipulation. You are inaccessible to covert schemes any longer. This is why the divine unsealed this communication for you. Because this evening, this individual contemplates reappearing. Yet they anticipate you remain uncertain of your value. They hope your heart continues to ache. They expect your spirit still seeks their affirmation, but they are oblivious to your altered spiritual state. You have matured, you have ascended, you have endured severe trials. And now you are on the brink of discerning their true identity. The document concealed behind them was not an amorous note. It was a caution. It was a negotiation. It was something they formalized with another party, but your name was obliterated from it. And now, as you are receiving this communication, the heavens are delivering a fresh missive into your grasp, inscribed in gold, authenticated by the divine, sealed by celestial tribunals. And this missive declares, "My dear child, no instrument devised against you shall succeed. I am exposing what they sought to conceal. I am drawing back the covering, and I am dispatching my angels to encircle you. You are no longer their captive. You are mine, selected, observed, and enveloped in splendor. Inhale, my child, you are not deluded. That sensation in your breast, that subtle prompt in your essence, it is not apprehension. It is awakened perception. It is the sacred spirit encouraging, examine. And having witnessed this, you cannot retreat. You will not, for now you are aware. You comprehend their actions. You realize what they withheld. You understand what was hidden, and consequently you are at last unbound. But hold, there is additional information. The divine imparted something further exclusively for you, something concerning your ultimate purpose, something regarding the individual you are destined to encounter, and what is poised to transpire within 7 days from now. Would you wish for me to proceed with that subsequent holy disclosure? It will unveil what follows once this truth is brought to light. After the divine demonstrated what they concealed, I inquired of the heavens, what unfolds next for the recipient of this communication? And the parchment illuminated with incandescence, golden incandescence, sacred incandescence. For my child, you are experiencing spiritual advancement. You are no longer awaiting finality. You are no longer stagnating at the threshold of an individual incapable of appreciating your value. You are now transitioning into a cycle of marvels where the heavens create opportunities before apologies are even offered, where divine approval manifests prior to elucidations, where novel affection materializes before past suffering concludes its narrative. Indeed, another individual is already approaching, a person specifically chosen by the divine. They do not conceal anything behind them. They bear your designation openly in their heart. This new individual will not cause you to doubt your intrinsic value. They will not regard your affection as expendable. They will not withdraw when matters become profound. They will remain, for they are not dispatched to challenge you. They are sent to safeguard you. And the divine states, "The individual I have selected for you will not present with disguises. They will manifest with validation. They will arrive with distinctness. They will come with fortitude, and they will appear precisely 7 days after you seal the final exit. Did you apprehend that? 7 days, not 7 years, not at an indefinite future time, but within a single celestial week. The transformation commences immediately, and as you gravitate closer to this luminescence, the former gloom will increasingly attempt to reappear. But now you comprehend, now you are vigilant, now you are safeguarded by veracity. You will never again be deceived by a feigned smile, for your vision is now divine. You perceive with discernment, you apprehend with sagacity, you articulate with authority, and the adversary recognizes this. That is why they are apprehensive, that is why they are hastening, that is why this individual is approaching you presently. They can sense your spirit eluding their governance, and I declare, allow them to observe. Let them witness what divine approval resembles. Let them experience what safeguarding feels like. Let them see what transpires when the heavens endorse a chosen one. My child, the forthcoming days will be splendid, but the next 72 hours are paramount. You will perceive indicators. You will receive communiques. You will sense spiritual strain. Do not yield. Do not engage with past falsehoods, for the divine is observing your response to this truth, and your subsequent actions will release a dual benediction, one for emotional emancipation and one for financial breakthrough. Yes, cherished one, the celestial realm is not merely repairing your heart, it is also re-establishing your bounty. And the moment you prioritize harmony over clinging, everything will accelerate marvels, revelations, prosperity, affection, serenity. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission will grow into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Giving to this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our exclusive community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through hearts that are kind. This is what I say over you now. Each gift you give is like a stream of living water that flows into the life of someone who needs healing. Give, and it will be given to you, is not just a verse for Jesus, it is a living promise that shapes your future. Allow me to invite you now with a simple act of faith. Come into this moment with purpose, with honesty, and with hope. The money you give today is not a donation. The act of spiritual obedience that lets your heavens open is what opens them. Let go of your seed and see what God brings back into your life. Not 7 years, not at some indefinite point, but within a single celestial week. The transformation commences immediately, and as you gravitate closer to this luminescence, the former gloom will increasingly attempt to reappear. But now you comprehend, now you are vigilant, now you are safeguarded by veracity. You will never again be deceived by a feigned smile, for your vision is now divine. You perceive with discernment, you apprehend with sagacity, you articulate with authority. And the adversary recognizes this. That is why they are apprehensive. That is why they are hastening. That is why this individual is approaching you presently. They can sense your spirit eluding their governance, and I declare, allow them to observe. Let them witness what divine approval resembles. Let them experience what safeguarding feels like. Let them see what transpires when the heavens endorse a chosen one. My child, the forthcoming days will be splendid, but the next 72 hours are paramount. You will perceive indicators. You will receive communiques. You will sense spiritual strain. Do not yield. Do not engage with past falsehoods, for the divine is observing your response to this truth, and your subsequent actions will release a dual benediction, one for emotional emancipation and one for financial breakthrough. Yes, cherished one, the celestial realm is not merely repairing your heart, it is also re-establishing your bounty. And the moment you prioritize harmony over clinging, everything will accelerate marvels, revelations, prosperity, affection, serenity. The instant you shut the entrance they left ajar, the divine will unlatch 7 fresh gateways inscribed with your designation in radiance. Are you prepared? For the celestial messenger beside you at this moment is about to act. Allow me to proceed with what this angel is poised to deliver to your abode. Would you desire the subsequent segment? This encompasses the sacred visit, the pronouncement of your designation in the heavens, and the schedule of the benediction that will manifest while others remain in slumber. Today your appellation was softly uttered in a celestial assembly, not proclaimed but murmured. For the arrangements the divine is making for you are not for general audience. They are confidential. They are consecrated. They are regal. A parchment rested in Archangel Michael's hand. Your designation radiated on its seal. When it was unfurled, I, Archangel Michael, was there, and I beheld what was inscribed in golden fire. This child has persevered unspoken, but they will no longer endure silently. Henceforth, what was concealed will be brought to light. What was pilfered will be reinstated, and what was deferred will be conveyed in the nocturnal hours. My dear child, at the precise instant that individual intends to draw near to you, another entity will first call upon your dwelling. An angel of visitation, the celestial messenger of the heavens, and they will come bearing two items, one in their dominant hand and one in their non-dominant hand. The dominant hand contains a benediction bearing your name, the one that was obstructed for months. The non-dominant hand carries a message from the divine with directives on how to proceed into your subsequent phase without trepidation. But attend intently now. The celestial messenger is exclusively arriving between 300 m and 400 m while others repose, while your adversaries slumber, while the individual who caused you pain formulates schemes in obscurity. The heavens will be active in the stillness, and you might awaken abruptly. You might perceive a gentle current. You might sense warmth on your physique even if no one is physically present. You might discern a voice utter your designation once. Do not be fearful. That is not an admonition. That is an affirmation that your angel has appeared and that the sacred parchment is being unfurled within your dwelling. Your adherence to this juncture, your readiness to peruse this extensive text, your spiritual vigilance has instigated a significant event in the unseen dimension. You are no longer anticipating. You are accepting, and no one, not even the individual currently approaching you, can intervene any longer. The divine has sealed that passage. The resolution has already been established in the spiritual realm, and now it is merely a question of time before it manifests tangibly. You will awaken feeling unburdened. Your heart will cease to throb with apprehension. The individual who used to bring you to tears will no longer command your vitality. Their influence is being dismantled. They will perceive it. They will sense a change and will exert greater effort. They will present as more amiable, but they will not prevail, for the heavens have now intervened, my child. You have been designated something superior, more truthful, more constant, more profoundly linked to your essence than anything you have previously experienced. It is not merely an individual. It is an objective. It is a standing. It is a pledge that is at last materializing, and no human contrivance can impede it further. Let me tell you what the divine has declared over you. I will quell the utterance that formerly disoriented you. This is the sound of the one who kept you in uncertainty. The utterance that claimed concern then vanished. The utterance that missiled. The divine is stifling it now, not through retribution, but through sacred separation. They will no longer possess the capacity to divert your affections. The haze is dissipating. Your choices will now stem from serenity, not suffering. What's more, I will substitute what they obscured with what you were always destined to grasp. They were concealing items behind them, but you will now possess what is intended for your embrace. The divine states you will obtain healing truth, not damaging confidences. The covered compact will now be supplanted by a sacred covenant validated in the heavens, guarded by angels. No human can revoke it. Your dwelling that grieved in stillness will exult in illumination. This is your personal abode, where the partitions heeded your supplications, where the cushion absorbed your laments. The ambience is transforming. Angels are being allocated to your chamber. Mirth will reappear in your residence, and it will not be transient. It will be hallowed, enduring, and replete with wonders. And I will usher to your entryway an individual fashioned for your essence. You have experienced companionship with those who resonate with your past wounds. Now the heavens will demonstrate what it is to be with someone who aligns with your destiny. This individual will not appear bearing disorientation. They will bring tranquility. They will not engage in trivialities. They will offer prayers with you. And when you gaze into their eyes, you will at last feel secure. Furthermore, the resources that eluded you will reclaim their path to you with accrued benefit. Yes, cherished one, what was financially postponed, what was impeded, what was seized is now being rerouted to you. The heavens are dispatching unexpected restitution. Some of it via individuals you had overlooked, some of it through conduits you never anticipated. Anticipate abrupt influxes. Anticipate divine endorsement in documentation. Anticipate the opening of passages that remain sealed for prolonged periods. The duration you believed was squandered will be returned to you augmented. The divine does not allow suffering to be in vain. He does not overlook periods forfeited to bewilderment, perfidy, or thwarted designs. You will not lag. Your progression will quicken in the forthcoming phase. What others accomplished in a decade, you will achieve in 2 years. For the celestial realm is reinstating duration through sacred congruence. The instant you release postponement, the divine bestows accelerated progress. Are you ready to witness this acceleration? Share your intention by typing "My time is now" below, and before daybreak, you will perceive your subsequent indicator. Indeed, prior to the next solar ascent, you will observe something, a communication, a designation, an instantaneous comprehension. You will sense a spiritual alteration. Do not disregard it. This will serve as validation that everything you are perusing is not only authentic, but that your era has commenced, not in an indefinite future. It is now, a now cherished one. If you sense tears welling, if your breast feels warm, if your hands tingle, that is not serendipity. That is the angel in your vicinity affirming that this parchment has been accepted. You are not fantasizing. You are not conceiving this. You are experiencing the instant that irrevocably alters your trajectory. As if this prophetic word resonates with your spirit, share it now! Sharing this message will activate the anointing and share this breakthrough with your entire network. Now, here are your spiritual directives. First, seal the intangible passage. This is the spiritual bond, the emotional portal that sustained your hope for their reappearance. Tonight, utter these words aloud before retiring. Divine, I liberate the one you never dispatched. I create room for who is sent solely by your hand. I am not bound to the perception of them I fabricated in my mind. I now revert to my genuine being. Articulate it gradually. Intend every utterance. And as you do, the angels will commence to permanently close that spiritual entry. They cannot traverse it again, even if they attempt, for you have been spiritually designated as impervious to perfidy. Next, inscribe their designation on paper. Then delineate a line through it. Yes, it is that straightforward. You are already aware of this individual, the person the divine has been cautioning you about via this communication. Inscribe their designation. Hold it in your grasp and then draw a prominent line directly through it. You are not condemning them. You are nullifying the spiritual authorization they held to disrupt your serenity. You are rescinding their admittance. This holds symbolic significance for the heavens. It conveys, I no longer permit this appellation to reside without cost in my spirit. Subsequently, shred the paper into fragments. Discard it in the refuse. This action initiates your liberation. After that, ignite an item with a calming aroma, a candle, incense, an essential oil diffuser. Perform this while softly uttering this supplication. Sacred Spirit, rejuvenate my surroundings. Permit no trace of suffering to persist. Substitute it with your essence of tranquility. This is now an area of recuperation. As the aroma ascends, it will serve as an indication to the angels. You are prepared to be replenished, not depleted. They will initiate the visit. Your environment will transform. Also maintain your mobile device in silent mode during the hallowed period between 300 and 400 AM. Refrain from browsing. Refrain from responding to communiques. Should you feel prompted to awaken, remain quiescent, attend. You might experience warmth. You might discern a subtle sound. You might even have a vibrant dream. The heavens are active during this hour, and diversions constitute the adversary's ultimate endeavor to obstruct the transmission. Invert your phone. Allow stillness to be your refuge. This is when the angel manifests. Finally, articulate the fresh designation into the ambience. Yes, your refreshed appellation, not the one they use for you, not the one associated with ignominy or sorrow, but the designation the divine uses for you in the spiritual realm. You are not overlooked. You are not exploited. You are not behind schedule. You are chosen, cherished, summoned, and completely recalled. Pronounce those names audibly. They represent your renewed persona, and they unlock the subsequent entrance in the heavens. My cherished one, these directives are straightforward, yet the outcome will be extraordinary. Your existence is no longer subject to their command. Your trajectory has been returned to the heavens. You are entering a phase so distinct that even you will ponder the rapidity of transformations. For wonders do not always announce themselves. Occasionally they materialize without warning. And when they do, you will be prepared. You will be in harmony. You will radiate with veracity. And above all, you will be immune to anything that once inflicted pain upon you. Concluding benediction affirmation. I, Archangel Michael, proclaim over your existence, no instrument fashioned against you shall ever again succeed. What was concealed is now revealed. What was pilfered is being restored 7 times over. You are no longer anticipating, you are manifesting it. You are no longer injured, you are restored. You are no longer bewildered, you are lucid. I consecrate every sector of your dwelling with celestial guardianship. I deploy champions to your main entrance, your core, and your ultimate purpose. The individual who was approaching to disorient you will arrive too late. Their scheme is nullified. Their dominion has ceased. From this point onward, you are no longer receptive to low frequencies. You are resonating with the divine's cadence. Now an individual of sincerity is approaching. A marvel is taking shape. A fresh designation has been inscribed over you in the heavens. And the one perusing this now is no longer the individual they were at the commencement of this communication. They are favored, they are selected, they are divinely impervious. And so it is. Amen. My dear child, my cherished one, you are liberated now. What tormented you no longer possesses authorization to intrude. The concealed item behind them will never again reach your threshold. The covert scheme has already been consumed by celestial flames, and the fate that seemed elusive is hastening to converge with you presently. If you claim this liberation, if you accept this new fate, let a resounding AM rise from your soul and into the comments. You need not implore for affection. You need not pursue distinctness. You need not ponder what is authentic any longer, for the divine has just disclosed all to you. And I, Archangel Michael, will journey alongside you throughout every stage of this subsequent phase. You will not traverse it in isolation. You will navigate it with splendor, and when the sun ascends tomorrow, a new sensation will be palpable. For it is so. Everything has changed now. Because you heeded, because you received, because you had conviction, and as a result, the heavens have acted on your behalf. Part 2, allow me to articulate this concluding supplication over your existence. O sacred divine, I present this cherished child of radiance, the one who has quietly persevered, the one who nearly relinquished hope, the one you have elected to safeguard. May their dwelling be imbued with serenity. May no obscurity reappear. May no deceptive utterance intrude again. May every seed sown in suffering now blossom in felicity. I consecrate their entrances with angelic pinions. I envelop their apertures with sacred fire. I stand beside them now, blade unsheathed, and no instrument, no individual, no entity shall ingress without divine sanction. This benediction cannot be rescinded. This assent cannot be nullified. What you, O divine, have favored, let no human annal. I invoke prestige, I invoke fiscal rectitude, I invoke sacred partnership, I invoke opened heavens above their being, and I invoke substantiation that you, O divine, are not only actual, but you are manifest in the name of Jesus. And by the decree of the dominion it is accomplished. Amen. Now that the complete communication has been conveyed, now that you have assimilated the reality regarding the individual who was approaching, now that you have obtained the parchment, the 7 sacred benedictions and the spiritual directives, permit me now to hallow the earth beneath your souls. for your surroundings are transforming, not merely emotionally, but tangibly. My cherished one, if you perceive an unburdened sensation, if your eyes well up, if your physique feels tranquil and hallowed at this moment, it is because this transcends a mere communication. This is now an entry point of sacred transformation, and you stood within it. You embraced it. You permitted the heavens to articulate. And now the heavens will reciprocate. Prior to the next solar ascent, you will observe it. Something will occur, a transition, an indicator, a communique, an affirmation. It will manifest discreetly yet potently. When it does, murmur, "Gratitude divine, I perceived it." For that instant will signify that the parchment has been entirely actualized. You are now operating under guardianship. You are now proceeding with divine approval. You are now advancing in spiritual sovereignty. And as for the individual who attempted to return with something concealed behind them, they no longer wield influence over your existence, for you have exited the snare and ascended to your dominion. Yes, my cherished one. Now let us conclude this sacred transmission with the paramount reminder: you are no longer engaged in a struggle for someone's affection. You are no longer confined to a waiting area for another's apology. You are no longer endeavoring to decipher ambiguous signals, for the divine has spoken. The heavens have unveiled what was obscured. And now, with the parchment conveyed, Archangel Michael's visit affirmed, and the ultimate declaration uttered, there remains only one final action for you to undertake. Stand still. Let the blessing come. Let the divine reversal begin. Because in the next few days, you're going to experience a sudden lightness in your physique. An instant of tranquility that feels hallowed, a communication or dispatch that seems to materialize from nowhere, a breakthrough in something you almost abandoned, a profound conviction in your spirit that you are now safeguarded. These are not trivial matters. These serve as substantiation that you did not conjure this message, that what you apprehended was not illusion. It was a divine directive transmitted through celestial authority. And now, child of the heavens, all of the celestial realm observes in stillness as you embark upon your new chapter. The leaf has turned, the space has cleared, the trial has concluded, and the recompense has begun. You are sustained, you are chosen, you are no longer lagging. And soon the very individual who attempted to conceal something behind them will witness your elevation into full radiance. And they will realize they never possessed the capacity to impede you. Only the divine did, and he never did, for he awaited this juncture, this surrender, this adherence, this awakening. And you appeared, you persevered, you attended, you opened, you assented to veracity, and now the heavens are assenting to you. I, Archangel Michael, bestow blessings upon every aspect of your being now. Your intellect with serenity, your hands with divine approval, your designation with prestige, your journey with marvels, your dwelling with guardianship, and your heart with the one who will never have anything to obscure behind them. They will openly clasp your hand. They will proudly articulate your designation, and they will cherish you as the heavens intended. It is approaching, they are coming. But beyond that, you are evolving into the version of yourself that no one can again postpone. It is completed. It is commencing. It is sacred. Amen. As this awakening grows inside you, know that helping with this mission is not a joke. It is a sign from God. You can support this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our exclusive community. By doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself, Jesus says. This is not history, it is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. My dear child, my cherished one, I persist here, for the communication has not concluded, it proceeds. Just as your narrative, just as your restoration, just as your consecration, what you are presently entering is the existence they never wished for you to possess, the existence they supplicated you would never uncover, the manifestation of you they attempted to subdue, but they cannot suppress what the divine has already proclaimed. They cannot annul what the heavens have authenticated. They cannot impede what has been sealed in splendor. And now, my child, you are about to experience something peculiar: liberation. Genuine liberation, the kind that does not seek sanction, the kind that does not await finality, the kind that manifests like a surge and purifies years of suffering. In merely one sacred instant, it will transpire unforeseen, while tending to your hair, while closing your sight, while returning to your abode. And you will ascertain, I no longer require their remediation. I do not need their pronouncements. I do not need their vitality. I am made whole. For the divine did not seek their endorsement for your restoration. He sanctioned it himself. And now it's accomplished. They never conceived you would endure without them. They believed their quietude would annihilate you. Their absence would deplete you. Their retreat would prompt self-doubt. But instead it rendered you formidable to the adversary. For the instant you felt deserted, the heavens occupied the void. The divine stood at the portal. The angels murmured your designation in the darkness. And now you radiate with a luminescence that perdition cannot diminish. You are not resentful, you are improved. You are not frail, you are safeguarded. You are entirely recalled by the heavens. And let me impart what befalls those remembered. They obtain compensation. They receive sacred assignments. They acquire divinely ordained affection that does not engage in deception, does not dissipate, and does not harbor confidences behind its back. That's what's on the way now. It's already in progress. And nothing can obstruct it, not even you. For this subsequent phase is not predicated on your flawlessness. It is founded on your standing. And your standing is chosen. You did not pursue this. You were designated for it. And now you are entering spaces that were constructed while you grieved, into resolutions that were recorded while you wavered, into sustenance that was devised while you questioned if the divine still heeded you. He did. He never ceased listening, but he awaited this juncture, the moment you would relinquish not merely the individual, but the apprehension, the strain, the notion of, what if they return? For they cannot return, not into this iteration of your existence, not into this fresh consecration, not into this hallowed radiance you now traverse. This is not hotness, this is advancement. This is the manifestation of an individual who declines to let suffering define them. And the heavens reward such fortitude. My dear child, my cherished one, once the heavens act within your spirit, it commences activity around you, and you are on the brink of perceiving it abruptly, distinctly, effortlessly. Gradually, your environment will begin to transform, and you will not even need to compel it. You will observe individuals who habitually messaged you daily vanish. You will perceive less disturbance from those who sapped your vitality, and you might initially question why everyone is retreating, but it is not them. It is the divine propelling you forward. He is quieting commotion before the authentic voice appears, for he is about to impart something into your existence, and he does not wish for it to be lost amidst diversions. The sacred presence is reordering your surroundings. You will discover yourself yearning for tranquility, longing for stillness, desiring fewer exchanges and greater communion with the divine. That is not solitude, that is readiness. The heavens are preparing the space before delivering the boon. And the boon, it is not merely prosperity, not merely affection, not merely triumph, it is distinctness. For when you possess distinctness, you cannot again be influenced. When you can perceive lucidly, no one can obscure your vision with honeyed words. And the divine is bestowing upon you spiritual X-ray perception. You will gaze upon an individual and instantly ascertain, they are not for me. This vitality is not synchronous. That person approached with calculation, not affection. This is an aspect of your consecration. Now you are no longer in a state of mere endurance. You are in a state of acute perception. This implies you will detect these phenomena, dreams that feel more lifelike, perceiving others' auras more rapidly, experiencing emotional depletion after brief dialogues, desiring your personal expanse even more, and that's acceptable. It is a spiritual purgation. The heavens are liberating you from every unseen bond so that nothing interferes when the genuine benediction manifests. But my child, attend meticulously, for there is one ultimate stratagem the adversary will employ, a trial, not from the divine but from the utterance that formerly diverted you. They will attempt one final emotionally charged communication, perhaps a text, perhaps a recollection, perhaps an audio message from the person who once concealed something behind their back, and it will seem impeccably timed. Precisely as you are recuperating, precisely as you are ascending, precisely as you are on the verge of receiving your pledge, they will articulate something akin to, "I was just reflecting on you. I did not comprehend your significance to me until now. Can we converse just one last time?" But it is not genuine contrition, it is spiritual enticement. If you reply, you will halt your marvel. If you respond, you will postpone what was already rapidly approaching your existence. And I implore you now, do not fall for the snare. That communication is not affection. It is opposition cloaked as fondness. The adversary does not need to vanquish you. He merely needs to divert you for an additional day, and your entire trajectory will deviate. You did not progress this far to be drawn back by a greeting from the past. You did not survive the perfidy to re-establish access for bewilderment. And the heavens are observing to ascertain if you pass this ultimate trial, not because you are being penalized, but because the divine desires to bestow recompense upon you without impediment, the individual you are fated to encounter. They are on schedule. The compact, it's already in progress, the benediction already allocated. But the inquiry is, will you suspend your fate for one last emotional diversion? Or will you remain steadfast and permit the pledge to manifest unhindered? From hour 1 to hour 12, the spiritual transformation commences. You will initially experience an unusual sensation, not loudly, but gently, almost as if an individual exited the space, despite no one physically being present. That represented their vitality being severed from you. You will feel more unburdened effortlessly. You may suddenly slumber more profoundly, or you may feel an irresistible compulsion to cleanse, to lament, or to articulate veracity aloud. Do not resist it. That's the ultimate remnants departing your physique. Even the intangible debris of the previous pattern must be purged before the novel can materialize. During this interval, the heavens are establishing a fresh resonance around you, one that is impenetrable by anyone approaching with falsehoods concealed behind them, and angels will begin to convene, for something is approaching your threshold. From hour 12 to hour 36, the indicators commence. Following the dissipation of the vitality, you will begin to perceive validation ubiquitously. Some of these will seem too precise to be fortuitous. You will randomly hear their designation, or a communique will manifest online that directly addresses what you just liberated. You may observe one of these indicators, LN11, on the timepiece, a dispatch from an individual you have not conversed with in years inquiring about you, a dream that feels more tangible than recollection, a numeral or appellation that recurs multiple times, an abrupt notion or instinct that declares, "This is it is unfolding now." These are not chance occurrences. They are spiritual validations from the heavens. They are proof you're in harmony now. And once they commence, it signifies that your marvel has initiated its manifestation in the tangible dimension. From hour 36 to hour 72, the initial benediction descends. This is when the transformation becomes tangible. You may obtain unforeseen tidings, a prospect, a communique of endorsement, a sum of prosperity you had not anticipated, a dialogue that proceeds more favorably than expected, or something abruptly exits your existence. But instead of suffering, it brings serenity. That's the heavens creating space, eliminating the imitation so the genuine benediction can enter. And here's the most crucial aspect. Once that benediction manifests, do not diminish its significance. Immediately express gratitude to the divine. Articulate, "I acknowledge this, I accept this. I am prepared for more." That utterance serves as a signal to the heavens that you are ready for complete engagement. And then the current will intensify, benediction after benediction, divine approval after divine approval, distinctness after distinctness. Because, my child, you did not merely endure the tempest. You successfully navigated the trial. You perceived the veracity. You did not revert, you relinquished. and that adherence has expedited everything. You are no longer in postponement. You are in sacred manifestation. Part 3, this is the ultimate instance. Archangel Michael states, should you repeat this error, no intervention will occur. Access it now. My dear child, my cherished one, my allotted time to speak is brief, and the heavens have only permitted me to convey this one final time. What I am poised to disclose will resonate like a murmur in your spirit, but it represents the concluding effort to reach your core before something irreparable commences. A delicate filament currently binds everything in your existence, and if you reiterate the same error, the one you already sense within your spirit, then nothing, not even sacred intervention, will be able to intercede. This communication reached you because your designation was just articulated in a conclave of 3 angels, and the one presiding over that assembly was I. I am Archangel Michael, and I stood before the heavens and entreated for one additional opportunity to address you directly. Not the global populace, not your associate, not your kin, but you. And now I am fulfilling that. But time is dissipating more swiftly than you know. If you feel that subtle compression in your breast, it's not apprehension. It's sacred imperative. You were never intended to encounter this message fortuitously. This communication is a reflection, and what it mirrors back to you will delineate the subsequent phase of your existence. My dear child, my cherished one, prior to further discourse, permit me to pose a straightforward inquiry. Have you yet pledged yourself to the communiques the heavens have been sending you? Not merely affirmed by selecting a digital option, but truly opened your core and harmonized with the divine's subtle prompts. If you have not, this is the instant to do so immediately, for this message will not reappear. What is contained within this juncture is consecrated, and the vitality traversing these words is more than just digital, it is spiritual. Proceed, establish that congruence now. Assent with your spirit, for this is not merely a communication, it's a sacred deliverance. Commit your essence to the veracity that is about to unfold, and you will perceive an unfamiliar tranquility permeating you, even amidst your tribulations. That serenity serves as your indicator that you're being sustained within the grasp of something far surpassing anything that has ever attempted to shatter you. You are chosen, but this is your final summons before quietude supersedes guidance. My dear child, my cherished one, there was a nocturnal period not long past when you silently expressed anguish within your core. No one witnessed your countenance. No one apprehended the profundity of what you carried. But the heavens did, and I was sent that very hour to envelop your environment with sacred illumination. But something impeded me, a choice you made that contradicted your intrinsic awareness. That juncture, yes, you recall it, is the instant we nearly forfeited the capacity to safeguard you. The divine is benevolent, yet he is also principled. And when an essence persistently disregards its innate wisdom, even the angels must withdraw. That is why I am present, not to instill dread, but to rouse you. Because if you repeat that identical deviation, no intervention will be permitted. Time is progressing, and each moment represents a diminishing opportunity. Your subsequent action must emanate from your sacred intuition, not your habitual human inclination. Your spirit recollects the veracity. You merely need to attend once more. My dear child, my cherished one, something transpired unobserved today. A dialogue occurred in the unseen dimension concerning your designation, and a record was accessed. It comprised numerous sheets detailing what was destined for you. Sheets filled with sustenance, with affiliations that restore instead of injure, with prosperity that astonishes even financial institutions, with serenity that does not depart in the dead of night. But all of it is currently subject to re-evaluation due to recurrent decisions. There remains opportunity to alter the course, but only if this communication is respected. That is why I am addressing you at this juncture. Not through tempest, not through conflagration, but through quietude, through your mobile device or display through this message. For the heavens recognize this would be the sole means to reach you opportunely. I was dispatched for you. And if that doesn't awaken something profound within your spirit, then you must pause and question what has so profoundly blunted your spiritual perceptions that even the heavens' ultimate endeavor feels like merely another communication. My dear child, my cherished one, do not permit this instant to elude you. Do not presume you will encounter another like it. An entrance is closing, and it is not being sealed in indignation. It is being shut because procrastination has become perilous. The error you have previously committed is attempting to bear all burdens independently, endeavoring to disregard the indications, believing that because repercussions did not manifest immediately, perhaps they never would. But the repercussions have already commenced. They are subtle postponements, disjunctions, the sensation that nothing is progressing. That profound weight, it's not merely existence, it's spiritual opposition. And if you do not act now, if you do not reverse this dynamic, it will evolve into something you cannot later dissipate through supplication. I do not utter this to terrify you. I articulate it to liberate you, for the individual perceiving this presently possesses greater fortitude than they realize. You are more endowed than anyone has conveyed to you. But you have been oblivious to your purpose, and the heavens are sounding the ultimate alarm to rouse you, my child. My cherished one, an individual within your familial or social sphere is secretly disseminating information about you, not out of animosity, but out of apprehension regarding your ascent. They perceive the luminescence on your existence before you do, and that jeopardizes their ease. There's a confidence they have maintained, and it directly relates to why matters have seemed stagnant around you. This communication is not merely an admonition, it is a disclosure. If you attend closely, you will begin to discern the recurring behaviors, their gaze upon you, the quietude following your triumphs, their attempts to instill self-doubt. All of this is not merely happenstance, it is a spiritual contrivance. And if you continue to pardon it, if you persist in the error of confiding in unsuitable voices, you'll forfeit the legacy the heavens specifically intended for you. This is your moment to withdraw from the clamor and adhere to what the divine has already privately imparted to your spirit. Attend now. Everything is poised to materialize. My dear child, my cherished one, an individual within your familial or social sphere is secretly disseminating information about you. Not out of animosity, but out of apprehension regarding your ascent. They perceive the luminescence on your existence before you do, and that jeopardizes their ease. There's a confidence they have maintained, and it directly relates to why matters have seemed stagnant around you. This communication is not merely an admonition. It is a disclosure. If you attend closely, you will begin to discern the recurring behaviors, their gaze upon you, the quietude following your triumphs, their attempts to instill self-doubt. All of this is not merely happenstance, it is a spiritual contrivance. And if you keep excusing it, if you keep repeating the mistake of trusting the wrong voices, you'll give away the inheritance that heaven designed only for you. This is your time to step away from the noise and follow what God has already told your soul in secret. Listen now, it's all about to unfold. My dear child, my cherished one, I require you to grasp that this communication was not intended to console you. It was designed to rouse you. You have been entrapped in a recurring sequence that seems familiar yet is subtly hazardous. The identical decisions, the identical individuals, the identical quietude when your spirit implores you to behave differently. This is the ultimate instance the heavens will permit this communication to reach you with such distinctness, for the heavens do not reiterate without justification. And when that justification is disregarded, the repercussions are definitive. There's an individual to whom you have been extending another opportunity. Someone you have been readmitting into your sphere even after the divine revealed their authentic nature. They come with gentle utterances, but their essence does not radiate illumination. Each occasion you embrace what the heavens have already repudiated, you postpone the manifestation of what was intended to elevate you. This is the error we're cautioning you against. It's not just a person, it's a recurring behavior, and recurring behaviors exert influence over your future unless disrupted immediately. Archangel Michael does not articulate twice without justification. The subsequent quietude you perceive will not be bewilderment. It will be the divine withdrawing to allow you to confront the complete ramification of your determination. My dear child, my cherished one, I must disclose something regarding your future. A day is swiftly approaching when your designation will be articulated in a chamber of determination, a locale where what you have sought through supplication is being assessed, not merely by your yearning, but by your preparedness. There's a marvel already authorized, already prepared, already in transit. But it can only alight where veracity is respected. And if you are still adhering to a fabricated tranquility, feigning ignorance of the distinction between the hallowed and the perilous, you will never witness the marvel's manifestation. This is why this communication is scheduled for now. You've been inquiring why it hasn't yet appeared. This is why your subsequent choice will either open the passage or seal it. You are being observed not to penalize you, but to safeguard you. The divine is not irate, he is imperative. Archangel Michael is not intimidating you, he is notifying you. This is your ultimate opportunity before sacred quietude supersedes divine guidance. My dear child, my cherished one, your spirit has recently been disquieted. You've perceived it in your nocturnal awakenings, in the peculiar apprehension preceding dialogues, in the sensation that something is in motion, yet you cannot elucidate it. That's not pressure. That's your essence endeavoring to penetrate the disarray of your surroundings. You're not astray, you're diverted, and diversion is the adversary's preferred instrument for the selected ones. He does not always bring annihilation. Sometimes he brings postponement, and postponement feels innocuous until you comprehend its true cost. I am here to disrupt that postponement with the potency of this communication, but only if you react. Disregarding this message will be akin to securing the entrance just before your marvel reaches your portal. You've been chosen indeed. But even selected individuals must make appropriate decisions. And this is the juncture about which you have been cautioned in visions and subtle prompts. The heavens' temporal mechanism has just indicated its ultimate moments. My dear child, my cherished one, an individual intimately associated with you is on the verge of disclosing their authentic nature, and you will require fortitude to manage it. The impetus for this communication's urgency stems from the fact that the person you've suspected has been duplicitous. They profess allegiance to you, yet they've privately uttered disparaging remarks against you. The divine permitted their facade to remain until now because the moment for their revelation was not opportune. But that interval has concluded. Within a few days, their deeds will unveil all. And when it transpires, don't disavow what you intrinsically comprehended. Don't revert to the error of excessive pardon when sagacity is necessary. Cherish them, certainly, but do not enable them to undermine you again. You're being granted foresight now so you do not falter later. This is the compassion of admonition. And compassion of this nature does not manifest identically a second time. I address not merely your sentiments, I address your ultimate purpose. It cannot ascend while you persistently tether yourself to deceit. Relinquish what the divine is eliminating, or you will be displaced from the status you were being prepared to assume. My dear child, my cherished one, the heavens have already initiated preparations for something that will astound you. Something so unforeseen it will initially feel like a fantasy. But aspirations must alight on firm foundations. The error you are being cautioned against repeating is one of distrust in the divine schedule. The previous occasion you hastened forward, the suffering imparted more than the experience itself offered. This time, forbearance is your safeguard. Do not label as postponement what the heavens term as progression. The divine is fostering something in quietude presently. But if you disrupt it by coercing results, you will only generate imitations of what was intended to be authentic. Pause, attend. Act only when your spirit feels composed. This is how you rectify the error. This is how you demonstrate your preparedness. And when the heavens perceive readiness, they manifest swiftly. You will not need to pursue what is inherently yours, but you will need to elect not to intervene again. You are about to enter your divine future. Remember that this message does not end with you. People can use your breakthrough to get where they need to go, through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our exclusive community. You can help this mission. By doing so, you are sowing into the awakening, deliverance, and restoration of souls who are still trapped in darkness. This is not poetry when Jesus says, "Give, and heaven will open over you." Every seed you plant turns into oil for your destiny, fire for your calling, and safety for your family. Now is your time, my child. Have faith, and as you do, watch God multiply what you let go of. My dear child, my cherished one, the heavens have already initiated preparations for something that will astound you, something so unforeseen it will initially feel like a fantasy, but aspirations must alight on firm foundations. The error you are being cautioned against repeating is one of distrust in the divine schedule. The previous occasion you hastened forward, the suffering imparted more than the experience itself offered. This time, forbearance is your safeguard. Do not label as postponement what the heavens term as progression. The divine is fostering something in quietude presently, but if you disrupt it by coercing results, you will only generate imitations of what was intended to be real. Pause, attend. Act only when your spirit feels composed. This is how you rectify the error. This is how you demonstrate your preparedness, and when the heavens perceive readiness, they manifest swiftly. You will not need to pursue what is inherently yours, but you will have to choose not to interfere again. My dear child, my cherished one, I urge you to survey your surroundings, your chamber, your dwelling, your digital domain. Elements exist there that no longer correspond to your trajectory, that antiquated possession, that archived communique, that contact information you retain for contingencies. That just in case is the very thread linking you to the iteration of yourself that no longer features in the heavens blueprint. Purify your area, and you will observe your ambience transform. Angels do not reside in disorderly spiritual locales. The previous occasion you undertook this, you ceased midway. That was the error. This time the heavens request complete adherence. Eliminate what saps your energy. Erase what is superfluous and what does not synchronize. Your compliance will unleash advancement, but reluctance will again engender inertia. Do not claim ignorance. This is your ultimate opportunity. I am with you, and my blade is unsheathed. But even I cannot safeguard you from what you willingly reintroduce. Opt for illumination. Choose immediately. My dear child, my cherished one, I persist here. The portals of clemency remain accessible to you, but they are no longer expansive. The scope is constricting, not due to divine displeasure, but because time itself is reacting to your determinations and the quietude you have permitted. There was a recent juncture where you comprehended what to articulate. You understood what to execute. And yet, you procrastinated, you postponed, you questioned yourself. And that postponement may have appeared minor to you, but in the spiritual domain it generated an undulation that is now returning to you as superfluous burden, disorientation, and forfeited prospects. That is the error we're endeavoring to prevent you from reiterating. Procrastination might feel benign, but its repercussions are acute. And this time, if you postpone again, there will be no intervention. Not because the heavens cease cherishing you, but because the heavens honor your autonomy. You must grasp that this is the final occasion you will be cautioned in this manner. If you're still reading, your spirit comprehends this communication represents the ultimate safeguard before you enter something irreversible. Part 4, my dear child, my cherished one, attend to my words as I articulate, not merely as a protector, but as an observer of your magnificence. You are not feeble. You are not overlooked. You are not irreparably fractured. In fact, you've been designated for a degree of splendor so profound that obscurity has sought to disorient you since your youth. Every perfidy you've endured, every sorrow that almost made you give up, every instant you were disregarded, it wasn't because you weren't adequate. It was because your presence commands significance in the spiritual dimension. But now is not the moment to bear suffering as an emblem. Now is the moment to awaken to the sacred authority within you. You've traversed too long with bowed head. The divine is elevating your designation into locales where your feet have not yet stood. But here's the veracity. If you allow ignominy and culpability to keep guiding your subsequent actions, you will depart from the passages he's already unsealed. Archangel Michael is not here to persuade you. You already comprehend. I'm here to recall to your mind that your ultimate purpose demands immediacy. There is no longer allowance for postponement. My dear child, my cherished one, an individual near you has been administering the venom of skepticism in minute quantities. Not overtly, not forcefully, but tenderly, subtly. They've been causing you to question your intrinsic value, your purpose, your advancement. They wear an amiable countenance, yet harbor utterances that subtly erode your conviction. The heavens perceive all, even what transpires in hushed discussions behind sealed entries. And you've been disregarding that internal prompt that indicates an irregularity. The error you are being cautioned against is persistently permitting individuals to contribute to your existence who are not consecrated to be part of your subsequent phase. The expenditure is now too substantial. Their sway is no longer merely bothersome, it's becoming perilous. You must disassociate from what depletes you. You must safeguard your pledge as if it were hallowed, for it is this time. If you don't obey the impulse to withdraw, the heavens will no longer mitigate the consequences. It's your determination. Choose prudently. My dear child, my cherished one, permit me to transport you to an event that has not yet materialized. A day is approaching very soon when a significant individual will pose an inquiry to you. It might seem informal, it might appear trivial, but your response at that juncture will determine whether you activate something that has been suspended for years. That moment will manifest quietly. There won't be pyrotechnics. There won't be preliminary warnings. But your spirit will know, and the sole method for your readiness is if you've dissipated the bewilderment. Now, if you persist in existing amidst clamor, amidst others' judgments, amidst apprehension, you will overlook the import of that moment. This is why the heavens are preparing you today, for your future does not merely arrive, it necessitates synchronization. If you're diverted, if you're ensnared in turmoil, if you're still reiterating the error of allowing skepticism to guide you, you'll articulate the incorrect words at that sacred instant. And what was intended for you will transfer to another. I articulate clearly now so you cannot claim ignorance. This is the ultimate occasion. This is your indicator. My dear child, my cherished one, permit me to transport you to an event that has not yet materialized. A day is approaching very soon when a significant individual will pose an inquiry to you. It might seem informal, it might appear trivial, but your response at that juncture will determine whether you activate something that has been suspended for years. That moment will manifest quietly. There won't be pyrotechnics, there won't be preliminary warnings, but your spirit will know. And the sole method for your readiness is if you've dissipated the bewilderment now. If you persist in existing amidst clamor, amidst others' judgments, amidst apprehension, you will overlook the import of that moment. This is why the heavens are preparing you today, for your future does not merely arrive, it necessitates synchronization. If you're diverted, if you're ensnared in turmoil, if you're still reiterating the error of allowing skepticism to guide you, you'll say the wrong thing in that divine moment, and what was meant for you will pass to someone else. I articulate clearly now so you cannot claim ignorance. This is the ultimate occasion. This is your indicator. My dear child, my cherished one, the heavens have not overlooked your supplications. Not a single tear has been expended without purpose. But you must comprehend this. Supplications are not merely pronouncements, they are spiritual compacts. And when your utterances request marvels, but your deeds permit disorder, you nullify what the heavens are endeavoring to bestow. This is what transpired. The previous occasion you implored for a profound advancement and it materialized, but you were still adhering to what the heavens requested you to relinquish. So the benediction was postponed. And now here we are once more. Another sacred instant, another prospect, another admonition. If you traverse the identical course, you will get the identical result. But if you adjust, if you genuinely liberate what the divine instructed you to release, you will witness unparalleled expedition. The angels have already congregated around your designation. The chronicle of your adherence is being recorded presently. Don't think this is just another day. This is a day that alters environments. Make it significant. My dear child, my cherished one, a fiscal gateway is opening, but only if your disposition corresponds to your pledge. You've been burdened by antiquated convictions regarding scarcity, unworthiness, and apprehension of prosperity. But the divine did not fashion you for remnants. You are not here for mere subsistence. You are here to embody sacred opulence. But opulence cannot reside where culpability persists, and your error has been to solicit more while simultaneously believing you merit less. You cannot supplicate as a sovereign and conceptualize as a captive. That mental framework must shatter today. If you make the mistake again of diminishing yourself, of underplaying your capabilities, of declining prospects because you think you're not ready, you will be overlooked. And this time, the subsequent prospect may not reemerge for a very long time. Don't let apprehension to masquerade as meekness. Advance, comprehend your identity. The heavens are poised to release it, but they're observing your demeanor. This is the ultimate trial before the fiscal transformation. Commence today. Don't wait for distinctness. Distinctness emerges after adherence. You're not constructing this for commendation. You're constructing it because it's inscribed in your spirit, and what's inscribed in your spirit is already financially sustained in the spiritual realm. Assets are already allocated to your affirmation. Act, and they will act with you. This prophetic word is meant to be shared. Activate the anointing and share this breakthrough with your network by passing it on right now. My dear child, my cherished one, what I am compelled to convey next will resonate profoundly personally, for it is so. A distinct occurrence is on the verge of manifesting in your existence, and you've already perceived it within your spirit. An abrupt summons, an unforeseen meeting, a determination another individual will make that will impact your trajectory. You've been soliciting distinctness, but distinctness does not invariably materialize through responses. Occasionally, distinctness emerges through disclosure, and what's about to be revealed will either emancipate you or injure you, depending on whether you're ready to see the truth. The heavens are no longer postponing this. You must understand your spirit already knows what this is about. You've been given glimpses in your nocturnal visions. You've had flashes of revelation in tranquil instances. But the error you've previously committed is feigning ignorance, for awareness would necessitate action. That action is what the heavens await. And if you again become inert, if you again repudiate the veracity, if you let ease to supersede purpose, then not even the angels can step in. This is not to chastise you. This is to hinder you from inadvertently entering another snare. My dear child, my cherished one, you were never intended to be bound by culpability and apprehension. And yet, someone from your past keeps trying to pull you back through those exact filaments. They speak as if they miss you, as if they care. But their intention is not to rebuild, it's to regain control. You already freed yourself once, and that freedom scared them more than anything else. That's why they're returning now. But their return is not a benediction, it's a trial. Heaven is watching how you respond. If you entertain this again, if you slip into old emotional habits again, you will delay what's already on its way. Don't repeat the mistake of mistaking sentimental yearning for ultimate purpose. What once felt like home was actually a provisional location, and now God is offering you a throne. Don't crawl back into a cage just because it's open. This time, if you fall for the same trap, it won't be as easy to recover. You've been warned in love, but with definitiveness. My dear child, my cherished one, let us address the matter you've been evading. The aspect of you that still maintains you're ineligible due to your history, that subdued utterance that murmurs, perhaps I forfeited my opportunity. Allow me to clarify this. You have not missed anything the heavens have ordained for you, but the error that impedes your benediction is not your past. It's your understanding of your past. You keep judging yourself by an iteration of yourself that no longer exists. The divine has already absolved you. The sole entity holding it against you is yourself. And as long as you retain that over yourself, you'll keep lowering your hands every time heaven tries to pour into you. You must stop invalidating what God has already reclaimed. If you don't, you will push away the very affection, the very prospect, the very prosperity you've been imploring for. Heaven has already inscribed your subsequent chapter, but you have to turn the leaf. My dear child, my cherished one, let us address the matter you've been evading, the aspect of you that still maintains you're ineligible due to your history. That subdued utterance that murmurs, perhaps I forfeited my opportunity. Allow me to clarify this. You have not missed anything the heavens have ordained for you, but the error that impedes your benediction is not your past. It's your understanding of your past. You keep judging yourself by an iteration of yourself that no longer exists. The divine has already absolved you. The sole entity holding it over your head is you. And as long as you hold that over yourself, you'll keep lowering your hands every time heaven tries to pour into you. You must stop disqualifying what God has already redeemed. If you don't, you will push away the very love, the very opportunity, the very abundance you've been crying out for. Heaven has already written your next chapter, but you have to turn the page. My dear child, my cherished one, the spiritual dimension is not passive. It is dynamic, and presently it's hovering around you, awaiting your subsequent action. A marvel has already departed from the grasp of the heavens. It bears your designation. It possesses the coordinates of your spirit. It carries a sacred temporal mark. But what you must understand is this: even marvels adhere to structure. If your inner state is not in spiritual harmony, the marvel cannot stay when it arrives. It will announce itself. But if you are still enmeshed in resentment, apprehension, or bewilderment, you will not even perceive it. That's what happened last time. The prospect materialized, it lingered, it hovered, but you were distracted. This time you must be poised. Let serenity define your ambience. Let distinctness be your guide. Let adherence be your regimen. The marvel is not the uncertainty. Your preparedness is, my dear child, my cherished one. An individual has been interceding for you more than you comprehend. A matriarch, a guardian, an acquaintance who witnessed your suffering but remained silent. Their supplications have constituted the unseen network arresting you when you didn't even know you were falling. And now those prayers have reached their critical mass. Heaven is moving not just because of your voice, but because of the heritage of voices that have implored on your behalf. You are covered more than you know. But the error to avert now is assuming you can live without purposefulness. Protected individuals still must act judiciously. Just because the divine is in your favor doesn't mean he will override your determinations. You are still accountable, and this phase will necessitate your vigorous involvement. Divine favor is not sanctioned to exist passively. Divine favor is the capacity to proceed audaciously. Employ it, my dear child, my cherished one. Your physique has been bearing more than mere strain. It's been responding to spiritual pressure. The cephalalgias, the weariness, the abrupt ponderousness, these aren't just corporeal, they are spiritual indicators. Your spirit is clamoring for harmony. You keep trying to address spiritual manifestations with corporeal remedies. But what you need is not another respite, not another diversion, not another evasion. What you need is congruence, recongruence with the divine's utterance, recongruence with veracity, recongruence with objective. The error you've previously committed is believing you can rectify spiritual disharmony with superficial alterations. But restoration won't emanate from altering occupations or affiliations or municipalities. It will emanate from altering your internal accords. What have you said yes to that God never approved? That's where the malady resides. Resign that accord and your vitality will be restored. You are not just tired, you are out of synchronization. And this message is your concealed reap synchronization. My dear child, my cherished one, I continue to articulate, continue to implore, continue to maintain an opening for your awakening, but not for much longer. The resonance in the heavens is altering swiftly. Trajectories are reordering. Passages are permanently sealing. and while numerous individuals remain oblivious during this spiritual juncture, you are being stirred for a specific purpose. What you are recently experiencing, the internal unease, the abrupt lacrimation, the inexplicable imperative, is not frailty. It's a spiritual alert. You are being drawn by the heavens into your rightful position, but your intellect is endeavoring to pull you back to the accustomed. This is the conflict now, not with others, but within your own being. And the error you must not reiterate is selecting your ease over your divine assignment. You've done so previously. You opted for quietude instead of confrontation. You selected postponement instead of ultimate purpose. You chose apprehension instead of conviction. But this time the consequence is too immense. You are positioned at the verge of something irreversible. Either you step into sacred synchronization or you descend into another arduous experience. The selection is yours, but I cannot make it on your behalf. I can only caution you one ultimate time. My dear child, my cherished one, the divine has witnessed every wrong you silently endured. He has noted each instance you were exploited, deceived, disregarded, and erroneously accused. You maintained quietude, you pardoned, you remained when you ought to have departed, and consequently the heavens are orchestrating a public recompense for what you privately suffered. But heed me now. Your reward cannot be delivered into the hands of an individual who persistently undermines themselves. That is the error you've been committing, undermining your own spirit by accepting circumstances that extinguish your radiance. You surmise the divine is postponing your profound advancement, but in actuality, the divine awaits your cessation of nourishing barren soil. No fruition occurs where disrespect abides. You must relinquish what has no intention of progressing with you. I am not solely referring to individuals. I am referring to behaviors, to pretexts, to the internal prompt that dictates, not yet. Each occasion the divine declares, no, that prompt is not your ally. It is a falsehood born of apprehension, and apprehension is the adversary of progress. This is the juncture to act, not at a future time, not in the subsequent week, but immediately. My dear child, my cherished one, the divine has witnessed every wrong you silently endured. He has noted each instance you were exploited, deceived, disregarded, and erroneously accused. You maintained quietude, you pardoned, you remained when you ought to have departed, and consequently the heavens are orchestrating a public recompense for what you privately suffered. But heed me now. Your reward cannot be delivered into the hands of an individual who persistently undermines themselves. That is the error you've been committing, undermining your own spirit by accepting circumstances that extinguish your radiance. You surmise the divine is postponing your profound advancement, but in actuality, the divine awaits your cessation of nourishing barren soil. No fruition occurs where disrespect abides. You must relinquish what has no intention of progressing with you. I am not solely referring to individuals. I am referring to behaviors, to pretexts, to the internal prompt that dictates, not yet. Each occasion the divine declares now that prompt is not your ally. It is a falsehood born of apprehension, and apprehension is the adversary of progress. This is the juncture to act, not at a future time, not in the subsequent week, but immediately. My dear child, my cherished one, you've been discerning subtle prompts from the divine in unconventional settings, through melodies, through nocturnal visions, through overheard conversations from unfamiliar individuals. These are not fortuitous events. These are indicators from the heavens directing you back to the sacred task you once relinquished. There was something you initiated years prior, a perception, a vocation, a trajectory that was untainted. But circumstances intervened. Disillusionment obscured your vision, and you forsook what was consecrated to you. The error you made was presuming that because it became arduous, it must not originate from the divine. But arduousness is not an indication of disapproval. It is frequently the sign that what you were constructing held significance. It intimidated the adversary. That's why it got attacked. But now you possess an opportunity to revert not to the past, but to the pledge. If you again withdraw, if you again decline the summons, it will necessitate years to regain the impetus. I do not utter this casually. I articulate it because it is veracious. And if your spirit is fervent presently, it's because you precisely comprehend the essence of this. My dear child, my cherished one, a transformation is approaching your lineage. Something that has been obscured will surface. It may be distressing, but it will also be emancipating. There has been a cyclical pattern reiterating itself through generations, and heaven has chosen you to disrupt it. Yes, you are the cessation of all the adversary endeavored to establish in your lineage. The error would be to consider yourself too insignificant to undertake such a momentous task. That's the falsehood that perpetuates generational confinement, the conviction that transformation is meant for another. But God chose you because your spirit possesses the fortitude for which they supplicated. You are the response to a fervent plea from a previous generation. And if you ignore this calling now, the cycle will continue in someone else you love. You're not just fighting for yourself. You're fighting for those who will come after you. Heaven is watching how you handle this pressure, because pressure is proof of purpose. Don't fold now, you are closer than ever. My dear child, my cherished one, an instant is approaching a sacred juncture when an individual will solicit your pardon. You will not anticipate it. It may originate from someone who inflicted profound suffering. The error you must not commit is conflating absolution with reunion. You can grant absolution without reverting to what injured you. You can bestow a blessing upon someone from afar. God is summoning you to liberate the resentment, not to re-establish the connection. You've borne the burden sufficiently long. It's time to lay it down. The shackles restricting your serenity are not external, they are emotional, and liberation doesn't always imply rectitude. It implies no longer needing it. If you can successfully navigate this trial, if you can proceed with grace without reverting to peril, heaven will mark this as the day your restoration was finalized. And when restoration concludes, fruition commences. The angels are already clasping your recompense in their hands. Don't drop it now. Don't go back. My dear child, my cherished one, I implore you to cease your current activity immediately and attend to the quietude within you, beneath the apprehension, beneath the clamor, beneath the schemes. An utterance resides within you that comprehends the veracity. That utterance is not bewildered. That utterance is not fearful. That utterance is the essence of the divine implanted within you prior to the dawn of existence. You've previously disregarded that utterance. You've suppressed it with rationality, with apprehension, with strain, but not on this occasion. This time you must confide in what you sense, even if no other comprehends it. Especially if no other comprehends it. The trajectory the divine has for you is not determined by others' consensus. It's not a collective judgment. It is hallowed, and your designation is engraved upon it. You must traverse it in solitude at times, indeed, but you will never be solitary while traversing it. I will accompany you. God will precede you, but the initial stride must be yours. If you again vacillate, if you again repudiate yourself, the prospect may recede, and it will not reappear identically. This is your instant. Select it, my dear child, my cherished one. The instant you've been perceiving within your spirit, the alteration, the activation, the sacred reversal. It's not fantasy. It's not sanguine deliberation. It's prophecy materializing in real time. You are not belated. You are not overlooked. You are not forsaken. But what's been impeding you is not external. It's the internal commitment you made when existence inflicted too much suffering. The commitment that stated, I'll never trust again, or I'll just handle everything myself, or maybe I don't deserve more. Those internal commitments became spiritual impediments. They might have shielded you once, but now they're strangling your profound advancement. God is endeavoring to place something novel in your grasp, but your hands remain clenched around past suffering. And if you make the mistake of carrying these commitments into your subsequent phase, they will contaminate the benediction you supplicated for. You don't need to be more prepared. You need to be more amenable. Amenable to confiding again. Amenable to liberating the suffering. Amenable to allowing the divine to restore what you couldn't mend. This is the instant. The ambience around you has already shifted. Now it's your turn to react. My dear child, my cherished one, the instant you've been perceiving within your spirit, the alteration, the activation, the sacred reversal, it's not fantasy. It's not sanguine deliberation. It's prophecy materializing in real time. You are not belated, you are not overlooked, you are not forsaken. But what's been impeding you is not external. It's the inner vow you made when life hurt too much. The vow that said, I'll never trust again, or I'll just handle everything myself, or maybe I don't deserve more. Those inner vows became spiritual blocks. They might have protected you once, but now they're choking your breakthrough. God is trying to place something new in your hands, but your fists are still closed around old pain. And if you make the mistake of carrying these vows into your next season, they will poison the blessing you prayed for. You don't need to be more ready. You need to be more willing. Willing to trust again. Willing to release the pain. Willing to let God restore what you couldn't repair. This is the moment. The atmosphere around you has already shifted. Now it's your turn to respond. My dear child, my cherished one, do not undervalue the rapidity of transformations when the heavens are engaged. You've been analyzing your circumstances through the perspective of temporality, rationality, and prior occurrences. But your profound advancement does not function under identical precepts. The error you must avoid now is assuming that because it's been delayed, it's been denied. That is a falsehood. The angels have been laboring in quietude. Documents are being processed. Discussions are transpiring concerning you. Matters are synchronizing in the background. But what unlocks all of it is your posture. If you start doubting now, if you start speaking words of defeat again, you will slow what is already on its way. Watch your mouth in this season. Your utterance is a weapon. Sever the incorrect element and you'll sever your own marvel. Articulate only vitality. Articulate only what God said. The next 24 hours carry weight. The vitality you release now will reverberate into the outcome you receive. Heaven is watching. Align yourself appropriately. My dear child, my cherished one, there's a rationale why individuals are consistently drawn to you. Some with virtuous intentions and some with covert motives. You radiate illumination even when you're unaware of it, and illumination attracts all. But here is what you must know. Not every individual who admires your vitality was dispatched by the divine. Some were sent to divert, to disorient, to postpone. You must possess spiritual acumen. Now, the error you made before was presuming you could alter individuals with your affection. But affection devoid of perception is perilous. God did not designate you to remedy everyone. Some people are lessons, some people are reflections, and some are specific tasks. You must discern the distinction. Inquire of yourself, is this bond enhancing my identity as defined by the divine? Or is it depleting me until I forget who I am? This is how you'll ascertain. Safeguard your domain. You're being elevated, and with elevation comes visibility. Not everyone can accompany you. If you try to carry the wrong people into your next level, they will dismantle the very cornerstone you've waited years to build. My dear child, my cherished one, permit me now to address the apprehension you've been silently contending with. The apprehension that asserts, what if I again falter? I empathize. You've been disappointed before. You tried and it didn't succeed. You opened your core and it was mishandled. You undertook the venture and encountered suffering. But failure is not conclusive in the celestial dominion. What matters now is that you don't permit the specter of yesterday to enter what is pledged for today. The error you must not reiterate is vacillating when the heavens grant approval. You are not your former self. You are more sagacious, more potent, more acute, and this time you're not acting in solitude. God is with you. I, Archangel Michael, am with you. You possess a bulwark of sacred endorsement as never before, but the passage won't open if you don't initiate. The recompense won't materialize if you don't act. Don't let apprehension to author your narrative. Apprehension is prominent just prior to a significant, profound advancement. That's how you know you're close. Proceed regardless. My dear child, my cherished one, your fiscal circumstances are about to transform, but not merely by chance. There is something the divine requests you to execute with purposefulness. You've been acquiring notions, inspirations, impulses to commence something, to inaugurate something, to revert to something. That's not fortuitous. That is sacred directive. The error individuals commit is awaiting flawless circumstances. But flawless circumstances don't cultivate conviction. Adherence does. If you delay again, if you keep sitting on what God told you to activate, the benediction will pass. Not as chastisement, but as a fundamental truth. The heavens favor those who build. Even minor advancements will unseal grand portals. Commence today. Don't wait for distinctness. Distinctness emerges after adherence. You're not constructing this for commendation. You're constructing it because it's inscribed in your spirit. And what's inscribed in your spirit is already financially sustained in the spiritual realm. Assets are already allocated to your affirmation. Act, and they will act with you. My dear child, my cherished one, a sacred endowment rests upon your utterance presently. Whether you articulate, inscribe, vocalize, supplicate, or simply infuse veracity into others, you convey sonic vibrations that alter environments. But here's the error many selected individuals commit. They become mute. They let apprehension to pilfer their articulation. They let past repudiation to persuade them to recede. Don't do that again. You've been quiet long enough. There are people waiting for what you carry, and their emancipation is linked to your articulation. Every time you silence yourself to accommodate others, you betray the divine who instilled this fervor within you. This is your phase to ascend, not in self-importance, but in dominion. Heaven is backing your voice. Articulate veracity, articulate restoration, articulate audaciously. Even if you tremble, speak regardless. Your pronouncements are instruments, and illumination is unleashed every time you employ them. Don't depart this life with your articulation still unexpressed within you. This is the juncture. This is the moment. My dear child, my cherished one, a sacred endowment rests upon your utterance presently. Whether you articulate, inscribe, vocalize, supplicate, or simply infuse veracity into others, you convey sonic vibrations that alter environments. But here's the error many selected individuals commit. They become mute. They let apprehension to pilfer their articulation. They let past repudiation to persuade them to recede. Don't do that again. You've been quiet long enough. There are people waiting for what you carry, and their deliverance is tied to your expression. Every time you silence yourself to make others comfortable, you betray the God who placed this fire in you. This is your season to rise, not in ego, but in authority. Heaven is backing your voice. Speak healing. Speak boldly. Even if you tremble, speak anyway. Your words are weapons, and light is released every time you use them. Don't die with your sound still in you. This is the moment. Release it. My dear child, my cherished one, I persist here. The heavens have not averted their gaze from you. But you must know this. The luminescence you radiate has consistently menaced obscurity. That's why the opposition has been so profound. That's why the moment you start moving toward your purpose, diversions, turmoil, or sudden despondency appear out of nowhere. It is not serendipity, it's conflict. But the error you must not reiterate is capitulating merely because the contention becomes disagreeable. You are not warring in solitude. You have angels allocated. You have supplications ascending. You have divine backing stronger than anything trying to stop you. But heaven cannot contend for an individual who refuses to assert themselves. You must assert yourself even trembling. You must advance even uncertain. You must articulate even if your utterance quivers. The power is already inside you. This is not about transforming into something novel. It's about recollecting your inherent identity, selected, safeguarded, consecrated. The ultimate component is your determination. This instant is not a fortuitous event. It is a sacred junction. One additional erroneous deviation, and what was meant to be a marvel may become another arduous experience. My dear child, my cherished one, observe intently what's currently disintegrating. The affiliations, the behaviors, the schemes that no longer possess coherence. Do not succumb to alarm. This is not annihilation, it is sacred intervention. God is eliminating what cannot accompany you. But the error you often make is mourning terminations that were never meant to endure. You keep asking why certain things didn't work out, but God is asking, why do you keep trying to revive what I entered? Every postponement, every passage that slammed, every person who walked away was part of heaven's guardianship, even when it fractured your core. Now you're being called to completely relinquish. This isn't partial liberation. This isn't 1 foot in the past and 1 foot in conviction. This is capitulation, and capitulation is not frailty. It's the most potent action you'll ever do. When you finally let go, you will witness the rapidity of the heavens' actions, but not before. That's the precept of synchronization. Only unburdened hands can accept what's new. My dear child, my cherished one, I perceive your profound weariness. I know you've been holding on with subdued fortitude, smiling when you wanted to cry out, maintaining optimism when your core felt empty. And yet here you are, still resolute, still perusing, still believing even in fragmented form. That alone substantiates that the divine's hand has never departed from you. But now the phase of mere endurance is concluding. It's time for spiritual reawakening. And spiritual reawakening necessitates your engagement. You must cease presenting strength as a defense and permit actual restoration to enter. The error is presuming you always have to do it alone. But what if I told you that assistance is already en route? What if I told you that there's someone God is sending who will sustain you when you're weary, articulate vitality when you can't locate the words, and create an accepting environment for the iteration of you that is not entirely composed? That individual exists, that phase is imminent. But you must permit yourself to be observed. Cease concealing, cease feigning. This is the phase where susceptibility transforms into your greatest asset. My dear child, my cherished one, I acknowledge the actuality of your bewilderment. One instant you feel invigorated, the next disoriented. That's because you've been situated between 2 dimensions, the former phase and the novel one, and the spiritual space between them invariably feels like a tempest. But here's the veracity. The bewilderment isn't retribution, it's readiness. It means you're on the precipice of something momentous, and the adversary wants to exhaust you before it materializes. Don't let him. The error you must not make is erroneously categorizing the tempest as an indication you're off track. You are not off track. You are being strategically, arduously, flawlessly positioned. This disorder is a disguise. It's obscuring what heaven is accomplishing beneath the facade. The transformation is approaching swiftly. Suddenly you'll wake up and it will all make sense. Until then, maintain your resolve, confide in what God subtly prompted when all was serene. That pledge still endures. My dear child, my cherished one, I possess one more imperative communication for this instant. Do not contrast your progression with that of any other individual. The error that usurps more ultimate purpose than failure is comparative evaluation. You look at others and ponder, why not me? Why not yet? But what you don't perceive are the concealed struggles behind their benedictions. What you don't discern is the sacred imprint distinct to your narrative. Your schedule is not sluggish, it is hallowed. And what's coming for you is being tailored, not replicated. You don't want their iteration, you want yours. And yours is still being fashioned in the private domain. God has concealed you for a purpose, to safeguard you, to ready you, to astonish the world when the moment is opportune. Don't rush it. Don't question it. Commend others, but stay steadfast in your unique course. What's coming to your dwelling is not a remainder. It's a distinctive benediction, one that no other can assert, and it's almost ready. Before we get to the end of this powerful story, let's take a moment to reflect on this deep truth. You did not find this message by accident. This is not a stroke of luck, it is a direct message from Archangel Michael to you. He's extending his hand and inviting you into a protected, high vibrational community where divine abundance is not just a hope, but a promise. This sacred principle is very simple, but it can change your whole life if you follow it. You won't just receive blessings, they will be multiplied and flow into every part of your life. By accepting this invitation right now, you are unlocking immediate, early access to powerful content and divine insights that are hidden from the general world. Now is your chance to enter a sacred space where you will receive spiritual guidance, unwavering support, and speedy progress toward your destiny. Do not let this sacred moment of destiny pass you by. Your breakthrough is waiting. Join Archangel Michael's inner circle immediately through the exclusive link in the description. This is how you guarantee you never miss the direct, personalized messages that are specifically meant to elevate and empower your life. If you desire to deepen your connection, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. And for those who feel called to amplify this work, a link to purchase the guided ebook is available, which is completely optional, but your presence, attention, and energy already mean the world. Take the step, your abundance awaits.